Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 40th Annual Community Volunteer Recognition Reception hosted by the City of Edina. I'm Lisa Schaefer, the Assistant City Manager, and I would like to introduce our city leaders who are in attendance: Mayor Jim Hovland, and Councilmember Mary Brindle, and Councilmember Ron Anderson. And before we get started, I would also like to thank Braemar Golf Course staff and Red River Kitchen for the delicious food and for hosting the event. Volunteers are an integral part of any thriving community, and in Edina, volunteers enhance services, deliver programs, and beautify the community. Very simply, volunteers fill the gaps. The City of Edina is fortunate to benefit from the talent and skills of volunteers serving in a variety of ways, whether that be on a commission or volunteering at a community event. Even the less glamorous tasks, like removing buckthorn, are helpful to the community and make a difference. This event this evening is hosted by the city to recognize and celebrate the volunteers who serve in organizations throughout the community and make Edina a better place. Tonight, several of Edina's many service organizations are here to honor their outstanding volunteers. Awards will be presented in the order listed in your program, and once the award is presented, the next group will work its way up to the podium. So we'll have an on-deck structure for this evening. So we'd like to start with the Edina Chamber of Commerce and Lori Severson presenting, and we will have the Edina Community Foundation on deck.
Thank you, Lisa, and good evening, everyone. We're honored to recognize Ashley Snell as the 2019 Volunteer of the Year for the Edina Chamber of Commerce. You know, Ashley is one of those individuals who flies under the radar, making a difference not only for the chamber, but for the community as a whole. And I know many of you here tonight understand those individuals that do fly under the radar. As a representative of the Alzheimer's Association of Minnesota, North Dakota, she not only assists in important committee work, but she uses her connections and knowledge of the community to help forward the Chamber's mission. Unfortunately, Ashley was not able to join us this evening, but I know she's thrilled to accept this award. And please join me in giving a little round of applause for Ashley Snell.
Good evening. I am Annie Schilling, and I am proudly here to represent the Edina Community Foundation. At the Edina Community Foundation, we are presenting this year our very first Servant Leader Award to a truly exceptional couple in our community, Jim and Lorraine Hovland. Jim, we would like to thank you, Jim, for your 25 years of service on our board of directors and for the inspiration and leadership you have provided to the more than 50 other individuals who have served as either board or staff at the Edina Community Foundation. This time includes your service as treasurer for 6 years and an additional 10 as president. Lorraine, we thank you for serving as Jim's personal support team member. You support both his work on our board as well as his work for the past 14 years as Edina's mayor. You have also served as philanthropy chair of Edina Federated Women's Club and the Women's Clinic. We have a very nice representation of the Edina Federated Women's Club, and we also, Lorraine, would like to applaud your achievement as a high school French teacher by being awarded the Order of Arts and Letters by the French Minister of Culture. Honestly, you might be, yes, that deserves a round of applause. LeRae, you honestly might be the only person I've ever met to have been knighted by the French government. This is especially poignant on this day where we've had bad news out of Paris. We thank you both for being leaders and financially supporting the Edina Community Foundation programs, both for our general support as well as many of the community impact funds for which we serve as charitable partner. For these substantial contributions, you have been recognized as members of our Heritage Circle. Thank you. You also generously include opening your home and making it available for foundation events. You have hosted many foundation programs and sharing your generous enthusiasm with some 20,000 others every year while riding on a horse and buggy in our 4th of July parade. We take great pleasure in celebrating your dedicated and enthusiastic service with your generosity, and we honor you both as servant leaders of the Edina Community Foundation.
Wow.
Thank you.
This has got me nonplussed. You know, we're Norwegian, so we don't like this kind of stuff. I don't mind lauding other people, but this is really hard. But thank you so much. It's left me kind of flummoxed. It reminds me of on April Fool's Day, I was working at the office and I looked down and my cell phone was ringing and it said Tim Walz. I thought, is this some kind of an April Fool's Day joke? But it was the governor, and the same thing. I said, Governor? And he said, yeah, what's going on? And I said, well, what do you mean what's going on? He said, what's going on with all the mayors? What's going on with the mayors? What are you working on? So we talked about that for a while, but that left me kind of nonplussed, just like this. So Ray may want to say something, but I really thank you so much for this. And I look forward to the award giving, not the award receiving part of this. So thank you.
So I would just say, thank you. It's really touching, and I just feel like this is such a wonderful group of people here that are deserving of all this special recognition. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
And
next.
thanks to the foundation, I should say.
Next, we'll hear from the Edina Garden Council, and Edina Federated Women's Club is on deck.
Hello, hello. I would like to introduce our Volunteer of the Year, Mary Yee. Mary is an extraordinary master gardener. She has expertise in almost every field of horticulture, her specialty being peonies, where she has won national awards. But that's not why we nominated Mary. We chose her because of her generous giving, teaching, sharing her knowledge, her expertise, her time, and her talents. I don't know of any person who is as selfless as Mary. And it was in large part because of Mary that we were able to transplant our hybrid lily collection at Arneson Acres Park into a more suitable and permanent site. She taught us how and when to dig them up, how to wash them, how to divide them, how to mark them, and how to replant them. And some of them we saved to put in our plant sale, everybody. And others we are saving to put in our latest and biggest gift to the city of Edina. Would you all like to know what it is? Yes. It is the Tranquility Garden. We start construction this summer. All of the hardscape will be put in. And after that, phase 2 comes the plants, the trees, the shrubs, maybe a garden bench or two. It goes on, and I'm sure you will hear more about it in the future. And I hope you will come to the plant sale and maybe buy some of Mary's peonies. And I hope you'll come and see the progress in the Tranquility Garden. It is in Artisan Park, of course, and you go to the gazebo and you keep going straight back, and it's in an enclosed, we could call it a secret garden. But we didn't want vandalism or anything, so it's not totally enclosed. And it's going to be a place of respite, a quiet place, a place to sit and think about nature or whatever. So do watch the progress, and eventually you'll see some of Mary's peonies, the prize ones, in that garden. But before that, just come over to Arneson Park, walk around, and be sure that you see Mary's hybrid peonies in their new location. Thank you.
Shirley and Joanne and Stella, would you come up, please? This is Stella Rizak. Joanne Stromberg. Shirley Burr. You just think you're looking at 3 people. If we brought the spirits of everything that they've done for Edina Feds, well, they are up here, but the roster would look like this. A recording secretary, a community involvement chair, a vice president of membership, a parliamentarian, a treasurer for EFWC Philanthropies, Inc., a president-elect, a president, a nominating chair, 3 corresponding secretaries, 3 FedsFest co-chairmen. That's worth almost $100,000 right there. 4 book club chairs, 2 mahjong chairs, a happy hour chair, and get this, 2 future FedsFest chairs and a future president. On our 50th anniversary, 50 years of friendship and service, we honor these 3 friends and members for what they've done for us already, for the commitment to the future of this club, and because they bring us a shining example of empowered women. Women who know their skill sets, who apply them to the project at hand, who know what they believe in and put their available time to use in that arena. Not only that, not only are they empowered women, but they enable other women to do the same. So they are empowered and empowering. They're gonna fire me if I don't give the commercials. And so on behalf of Shirley Burr, our incoming president, come and join us. We'd love to add you to our roster. We just need you to be a friend and willing to give service to this community. On behalf of these 2 who are our incoming FedsFest chairs, mark your calendar, November 17, Edina, 16, oh, I blew it, 16, at the Edina Country Club. All of our proceeds are given to charities much of which has gone to the city of Edina. Will you join me in honoring them? Hang on, hang on. This is for you. Thank you. This is for me. Special.
And next, we'll hear from Edina Public Schools with Edina Soccer Association on deck.
Good evening. My name is Karen Rarick, and I'm the volunteer manager for Edina Schools and Community Education. Come on over, sir. Tonight, we would like to honor and recognize Bob Pfefferly for his passionate support of students, teachers, and our programs. Fun fact about Bob, he actually holds a couple different titles that are special to me. Bob was the first volunteer that I met with when I first started in Edina. The very first week, he was chomping at the bit and set the bar very high. Bob began his volunteer journey in 2013 as a homework helper at Cornelia Elementary School. Wanting to expand on his volunteer efforts, he then lent his support at the Edina High School, assisting in the STEM program Project Lead the Way, as well as giving career exploration presentations to classes about civil engineering. While Bob enjoyed his time at Cornelia and the high school, he has taken up permanent residence supporting the first grade classrooms at Creek Valley. The first grade teachers at Creek Valley wanted me to share this. Bob is one of a kind, truly a gem. He has dedicated his time to reading with our first graders twice a week. He considers them his extended grandchildren and makes each of them feel so loved. They all beg to read with him over and over, and at each visit, Bob reminds them about the importance of reading and being a good student. Along with his weekly visits, Bob provides special Dr. Seuss-themed reading events throughout the year where he dresses up as a character from the book and reads out loud to them. I think we can all agree that every single child would love to have a visit from the Grinch or somebody voicing Miss Bonkers as he reads classic stories to them. Also, each November, Bob educates them about Veterans Day by sharing stories of his time in the Navy and teaches students the importance of properly honoring men and women in the armed forces. And thank you for your service, sir. Bob cares so deeply about enhancing the education of students that he has become a highly effective volunteer recruiter. Many of his family members who are here tonight have also joined rank with Bob by either accompanying him to his events, helping him on his projects, or have given career presentations of their own. I have a feeling that if Bob didn't pursue civil engineering in his career, that he would have given me a run for my money as a volunteer manager. Bob shares his passion for reading and love for youth each time he volunteers. We are grateful for his service and dedication. Please join me in honoring Bob Pfefferly with our Volunteer Excellence Award. And he also gets a Barnes & Noble gift card, because I think it's pretty fitting to have you go to Barnes & Noble and get some more books.
Well, okay. I'd just like to thank this lady. She's been my guardian angel since day one.
Gosh, I'm so sorry. Sorry. This is what a guardian angel does.
Yes.
They wreck stuff for you.
Well, you've been wonderful. You're something. And it's fun. That's all I can say. Working at the schools, and I can remember, now that I'm in first grade again, when I was 6 years old, how much I really loved school. I can remember some things that far back. That was 80 years ago. And now I'm back again. And I'm having fun again. So what can I say? It really is a joy. It really is. I walk into that room, hey kids! And right now the adrenaline, shoo! Old guys like me need that. But I want to thank the teachers there too. Beth, Britt, Doran, and Kathy are the first grade teachers. Each have 25 kids. And when we get together, all 4 classes come together, and do the Dr. Seuss thing, and that is fun. So, I'll continue to do this as long as they let me. But I want to thank my family for encouraging me to do this. Sometimes when you're my age, you don't get real excited about having to go out and whatever it is. But I love it. And I'm going to continue to do it. And thanks again, Karen.
And next up is the Edina Soccer Association with Friends of the Library on deck.
Good evening. My name is Shane Stum, and tonight I'm representing the Edina Soccer Association. Tonight, the Edina Soccer Association would like to recognize Glenn Gray for his outstanding service to ESA over the past 6 years. During Glenn's time on the ESA Board of Directors, he's led nearly every committee within the organization, as well as served a term as president. Glenn is personally dedicated to providing every child pre-K through 12th grade an opportunity to play soccer in Edina. His dedication to this organization is a key component to ESA achieving its mission. Glenn spends hundreds of hours each year volunteering with ESA, and here are a few examples. As an event coordinator, he's coordinated the 4th of July parade for ESA, ESA night with the Minnesota United. He builds countless teams for multiple age groups within the 6 years. And just so our parents don't feel left out on the sideline, he's created and organized the ESA Fall Adult League. Glenn takes pride in everything he does and is an invaluable member to the Edina Soccer Association. Please join me in thanking Glenn for his contributions.
Thanks. After Rosalind's speech, I feel like the laziest volunteer up here. But it's been great. I came to Edina Soccer, looking to really make some changes, and we're really humbled by all the people who dedicated all their time to the organization. It started. I won't take you back that far. It'll be a quick speech. But I had a great coach in Bill Newland Wagner, this guy that really took everybody and showed us the love of soccer. And the goal is really just to keep paying it forward and to let all these kids. We have 3,800 kids in Edina that play soccer. It's like something like 1 in 3 kids play soccer in Edina. We have 400 volunteer coaches. Those are all the parents that didn't step back, that actually stepped forward, and we promote them right to head coach. But we couldn't do anything without all those volunteers stepping forward. So if you're a coach or a volunteer with ESA, thank you. And we've got 14 full-time members of the board, and we're always looking for more. So after you've gone to the plant sale and everything else, please think about joining the ESA board. Thank you very much.
And next is Annie Schilling on behalf of Friends of the Edina Library, and Morningside Women's Club is on deck. Thank you.
I am honored to present on behalf of the Friends of the Edina Library. Sheila Zimmerman has helped lead the hospitality committee of the Friends of the Edina Library for over 10 years. With the help of her husband, Will, Susan Lotta, Julianne Holt, Ginny Washburn, Carol Engel, and Barbara Epstein, she has helped set up Edina Reads program in partnership with the Edina Community Foundation and Great Decisions programs in partnership with the Edina Library and the Edina Senior Center since 2009. Sheila and her team have set up and taken down chairs, checked in participants, and greeted thousands of individuals who have come to listen to authors and have welcomed those who have come to see artwork of the Edina school children. She is tireless in her support of the library and the community of Edina. The Hospitality Committee helps the Edina Library, makes the Edina Library a wonderful and helps us provide the free programming. It has truly become part of the fabric of our city. They make the library a place for reading, research, and growth. Thank you to Sheila and her team.
Good evening. I wish to thank the Friends of the Edina Library and the Edina Community Center for honoring me this evening. It's a very special recognition award, and I will cherish it. While they're talking about the plant sale, I'd also like to remind you to mark on your calendar, real soon, we have our Edina book sale from April 27 to 29. And if you've never been to an Edina book sale, you won't want to miss it. Also, we have rolling membership, meaning you can join Friends of the Edina Library at any time. Thank you very much.
And next up is Morningside Women's Club, and Rotary Club is on deck.
Hi everyone, my name is Jennifer Samuel and I'm the president of the Morningside Women's Club. Today we are recognizing 2 women as our 2019 Volunteers of the Year. Our club was formed in 1937 and we've grown to 160 plus members, and our volunteers have always been our backbone. First off, I'd like to say thank you to Mary Kay Rickman. She has been volunteering for our organization for just about as long as I've been in it. She's been our dedicated secretary since 2009. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I'd also like to congratulate Sonia Prickett, who is our press officer. She keeps our members engaged and informed, and it's a position that she's held for 3 years. I think you're very shy. They will say thank you.
And welcome to John Flynn with Edina Rotary. And Rotary Club Morningside is on deck.
Good evening, everyone. My name's John Flynn. Having a little trouble with the microphone here. And I'm honored to be the 64th president of the Edina Rotary Club. We meet every Thursday at noon. If you want to come and check us out, we have a great lunch and a great program. So
And no
you're all,
plant sale.
and no plant sale. So you're all welcome to join us. Each year, Rotary typically identifies one person as our Volunteer of the Year, but we couldn't overlook the outstanding efforts put forth by 3 of our members this year. So we have 3 people that we're honoring, and I'd like to introduce them. Jennifer Benarott. Where'd you go, Jennifer? There's Jennifer. Jody Kern. And Kip Peterson. Jennifer, when she's not hosting the front desk or taking pictures, she works on all sorts of projects for Rotary and works at our district level, organizing and helping other clubs succeed. Locally, some of the things that are her passion are our elementary school literacy program, as well as our Edina High School scholarship program. So thank you very much, Jennifer, for your efforts. Jody is known as someone who gets things done. She's an expert at navigating all the organizational minefields, if you will, that get in people's way and keeping our volunteers on task and towards positive ends. She as well works at the district level and is called upon frequently to help with many issues that our organization deals with. And we thank you very much, Jody, for your efforts. Yep. And Kip, he's served on our board for 3 years now. He continues to champion many of our youth service programs. And one of the things that he's especially involved in is our high school program, where we get 100 high school students from around the state to come to a camp for 3 days to learn about and experience the free enterprise system. So Kip, thank you very much for your volunteer efforts. Individually, each of these people could be our Volunteer of the Year, but because of the way they work together, we've had to include all of them. One of the things they did this year as a group is they got behind our foundation efforts and they sent they set a new level in terms of our foundation giving, and as a result, our club's able to continue to give grants both locally and internationally that change people's lives around the world. So we're very pleased with that and proud of their efforts. So everybody, we're very proud of what you do on behalf of Rotary, and I'd like to congratulate you, Jennifer. Here is a beautiful thing that you probably haven't seen before. Jennifer orders the awards too. And Jody, there you go. So everyone, I'd like to introduce Jennifer Benarott, Kip Peterson, and Jody Kern, our volunteers of the year. Did you want to say anything? You can't.
All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Margaret Johnson. I am currently the secretary for the Edina Morningside Club. We meet Tuesday mornings, so if you're an early bird, you should come check out our club sometime at the Edina Country Club. We meet for breakfast. I've been given the honor to recognize our choice for the 2019 Annual Volunteer Award. Zdenek Kratky is currently serving as our president for the Edina Morningside Rotary. I have to say, I've been just honored to be a part of the club, but amazed to be a part of the leadership board and have been able to witness Zdenek's leadership of a group of over 80 professionals that meet every week and are all looking to be led, be inspired, and in a very creative way, and Zdenek does that every single week. As most of you know, serving those around you is mostly done behind the scenes. A lot of you, just like Jim, don't want to get a whole lot of recognition for it, as Z doesn't either, but tonight he's going to. The amount of time, effort, and thought that goes into preparing for these meetings on a weekly basis, the multiple service opportunities that we've done in the past 2-3 years, he's played a major role in. That being said, he's also been a Rotarian for over 5 years. And so being a part of Rotary is really geared towards being, we dedicate ourselves to our motto, which is service above self. So I just want to, I'll let you guys know what a great Rotarian Zdenek is, but really truly how much he's served us as a group for the last year above himself. And please, a round of applause for Zdenek and also his lovely wife, Nicola, who has supported him. Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Margaret, and thank you, everybody. Rotary, what more can I say than John? Well, I'll tell you a little fun fact. I'll take a little note from Glenn. You know, it all started back 30 years ago, when the Rotary Club of Edina actually sponsored the Morningside Club and got us started. So today we're at 90 members, and Rotary really is about service above self. So no, we're not here to get awards. What we're here to do is ask you to come and visit and come and see us. Because I bet you if I ask for hands up, first of all, I see a lot of Rotarians in the room, so that's wonderful. But I bet you know people in your own family that were Rotarians, and I bet you they all said one thing: I love being a Rotarian. No one ever says, geez, I didn't like helping people in my local community or globally. This year at Morningside, we've been able to increase our global giving by 5x, and next year we're looking to do the same for local. So if you'd like to learn more, come see us on Tuesday morning at the Edina Country Club, 7:30, breakfast. And if you want to play golf here at Braemar on July 10th, we're holding our annual golf tournament. So once again, thank you very much, and to all the Rotarians present and future, thank you.
And if everyone could please join me in another round of applause for all of our community volunteers. And as an additional thank you, we would like our award winners to select one of our beautiful centerpieces that was generously provided by the Edina Garden Council. And it is now my pleasure to introduce Mayor Jim Hovland, who will present this year's mayor commendations. And he will be assisted by City Council Member Mary Brindle.
And we can have Ron Anderson come up as well, I think. We could have them both come up. So, well, good evening, everybody. This is one of the great nights of the year in Edina, and really probably one of the great nights of the year in America. In this world that we're living in now that tends toward divisiveness, this is something that really pulls us all together as a community. And for me, it's a wonderful evening. Couple of things. First of all, I get to be the chief promoter in the town as well as the mayor. And so all these organizations that are up here saying, yeah, we're looking for more members, or we're looking for plant sales, especially the plant sale thing. I'm all into the plant sale thing. I go out of there with everything a person would need and more. And it's like 1 month's worth of mayor's salary, and that's not real big. It's not any real big deal, but it's like a month's worth of it, right over there to the garden council. So when they're doing this beautiful job of building this tranquility garden that's right around $50,000, I feel like I've helped with that too. And all the rest of you, and you should get over there and help them as well. The other thing I want to call attention to is on your table there's a little flyer about Days of Remembrance. Where's Jan? Jan, how many years ago did we start this? A decade ago maybe? 9 years ago. All right. So nationwide, there was a Days of Remembrance with regard to the Holocaust and other folks that were persecuted during World War II. And all over the country this occurred, and we did it here. Jan was on the Human Rights and Relations Commission at the time we started doing this. But I think we're one of the only, well, I guess it says right on here, 9th annual. So I should get reading comprehension in mind here. We're one of the only towns, I think, in Minnesota, maybe in the country, that still does this year after year because this is so important to be doing. And we have a special guest this year. It's on Sunday, April 28th. I would encourage all of you to come to hear Louise Dillery, who's going to talk about being a Holocaust survivor. And my wife knows her. I think she was as a French woman who...
She was a 16-year-old girl in Paris whose father was taken away right in front of her, and her mother had died prior to that, and she was 16 years old, all by herself, trying to survive the rest of the war.
So I encourage everybody to come here. This will be a tremendous memory for all of you, and a reminder of what happened not that long ago, 70, 80 years ago. So yesterday, we went to, and this is not meant to be religious, but I'm just using it as introduction to some of my remarks. Palm Sunday processional, probably many of you went to the Palm Sunday processional yesterday. At our church, it was a metaphor, the minister said, for the question, where are we going? And the reference was, of course, to his sermon about a spiritual journey that many of us have individually. What he called that journey from here to there in our individual lives. But as I sat there listening to him, I kind of drifted away from the sermon aspects of it, and I started thinking about our town, and I started thinking about coming here tonight and seeing all of you, so many familiar faces, and thinking about your individual journeys from here to there, and thinking about the journey of all the people in our town from here to there, and also the journey of our town itself from here to there. Because if we're on this individual procession through life, our town's on a procession too. A journey from where it's been to where it's going, that journey from here to there. The journey for all of us in that trek from here to there has a beginning and an end. We can't live forever, but a town can if it keeps moving in the right direction and it keeps making smart moves along the way. As our town has moved from where we were to where we are, many things have changed and many things will change in the future. How people want to live has changed. People used to have outdoor plumbing and no place to park their car. Now they want to live in a different way. How people want to live themselves has changed. How they want to purchase products, which products they want to buy have changed. We've changed how we communicate with each other. Phone calls are no longer made from a phone that you've got tethered to a wall or your princess phone in your bedroom. You don't know where the person is that you're calling, and they don't know where you are either. And with the social media that we have now, rumors, used to go from person to person in junior high or high school or in regular society. Now they can fly from one person to the world in no time at all. So when we're on this journey and how we look at how our town changes over time, futurists tell us that this is the slowest rate of change we'll ever see. And our city council has been trying to deal with this, and Edina's always been terrific at looking forward. And for us, we've been lucky because we have all of these volunteers that as our town changes, they're our guides. All the people in this room that are getting awards, all of you that work in these organizations, I feel like you're our town guides that help us make a difference and help us be better together. So as we become a different kind of a town, as we become more diverse, and we become more interesting as a result of that diversity, and more importantly, stronger and better together because of that diversity, we've got all of you as guides here to help us along the way in whatever it is that you find interesting, sharing your wisdom, your life experiences, and helping us move in a really terrific direction. So the organizations that celebrated their volunteers tonight, it was a wonderful thing to behold, and I'm grateful that I know so many of you, both that were giving the awards and were award recipients. And now we get to give some on behalf of the city to folks that have also been guides for us and done a wonderful job in helping our community along the way, along this journey from here to there. So we're going to start with, and Jesse, can you come up, and Stephanie? We're going to do the mayor's individual commendation. And these are two wonderful members of our community. Jessie has lived here her entire life. Stephanie, not that long. She and her husband, James, who's the award recipient tonight, she's here for her husband, James. And this is for the mayor's individual service commendation. It's awarded to an individual for outstanding and exceptional volunteer service to the community at large. And here's what Jessie and James did for us within the past couple of years, and it was a journey itself. And I'll tell you that change happens when people recognize why change is needed, understand that the proposed solutions are attainable, and have a shared vision of the challenges and opportunities in making lasting change. In 2016, the City Council recognized, you remember after we had that incident on Xerxes Avenue with the police officer and the young black man, where no one was hurt, but it was in such a tumultuous time in America. It was post-Ferguson, Missouri. It was post-Baltimore with Freddie Gray. It was post-Dallas. It was post-Baton Rouge. That people's sensitivities were really heightened. And I can't tell you all the calls and the emails that I got following that incident in October of '16, where I couldn't listen more to about 5 of them at a time, because I was either a cop lover, a cop hater, or I was doing a good job. And it wears on you after a while as you listen to all this and you try to navigate your way through all of this. And so in 2016, the City Council recognized long-term racial inequities that have manifested themselves in our community for decades. These inequities prevented Edina from realizing its vision and values for all community members. And I emphasize all community members. The city wanted to take a proactive approach to identify, repair, and prevent future disparate outcomes in our community. 30 community members were appointed to serve on a race and equity task force and working groups to assess each of these areas and develop recommendations to address issues of race and inequity within our city. That group was led by James Pierce and Jesse Kingston. Over the course of 18 months, the task force, led by James and Jesse, worked to assess the city's facilities, institutions, and services. They prepared a report with 5 themes: accountability, building relationships with communities of color, gather data, belonging or a community feeling, making sure that everybody feels like they belong here, and policies. Now, our staff is working towards implementation of many of the task force recommendations. And it was James and Jesse that helped lead this group of 30 to put us on a path of being better together. And I want to congratulate both Jesse, who is here, and James, who is not, and his wife Stephanie here for all the wonderful work that they did on this particular project for the city that's going to be for the betterment of our community over time. Thank you.
Talking about race and confronting racism isn't an easy conversation. If it were, racism wouldn't exist. While Edina was co-founded by a Black family, racism and discrimination entered our community with restrictive housing covenants in the country club neighborhood. We may have overcome that painful past, but racism and discrimination still exist. As an Edina resident for more than 30 years, I was honored to be asked to co-chair the Race Equity Task Force with James Pierce as the city began undoing individual, institutional, and structural racism that exists within our community and government operations, services, and facilities. I want to thank our community for coming together, being courageous as we shared and listened to each other's lived experiences, trauma, and began a journey of healing and change. We journeyed together through a new way of communicating with one another, and your input was invaluable to the recommendations that we presented to the city. Second, I'd like to thank the mayor, city council members, and staff for acknowledging, confronting, and championing change. You brought together a diverse group of community members to provide recommendations on how the city can deliver its services. We look forward to seeing the recommendations implemented over the coming year. Finally, thank you, Mayor, for this award in recognition of our work. It truly means a lot to me and my family, many of whom are here this evening, to help the city become a more welcoming and equitable community. Thank you.
So I am not James Pierce. I am Stephanie Pierce's wife. He is in Austria. So I just wanted to, on behalf of James, thank the City Council and the Mayor and the people of Edina for their support of the work that James and Jesse led. My husband is an understated guy, although he is a 6'5" African-American guy, so you can't miss him. But I think that he's amazing and the work that he does is fantastic. So the fact that the mayor is recognizing him is really special to us. You know, a funny story, the mayor has not only been great for James, but also our entire family, and my oldest is 16. And she thinks it's amazing that we know the mayor of Edina. It's like knowing Beyonce. So I just wanted to say thanks to all of you for that, and thanks to the folks and the people of Edina. As the mayor said, my husband and I have only lived here with our kids for about 3 years, and we have had a really amazing experience both with our neighbors and have met some wonderful and amazing people. So thank you, and I too look forward to the recommendations coming to light. Thanks.
Hope, you want to walk up here, please? This is the Mayor's Outstanding Senior Commendation, and the award recipient this year is Hope Melton. And if you don't know Hope, you will momentarily, as soon as she gets done with her remarks. And you'll want to rush off to her next affordable housing meeting and join the hundreds of others, or over 100 others that have joined her in the work that she's doing. So let me read a little bit about Hope for you. Hope Melton is the coordinator of an organization that she formed, helped form, the Edina Neighbors for Affordable Housing, which began in the fall of 2017. Excuse me. A year and a half later, Edina Neighbors for Affordable Housing has over 100 members and counting. Working with the City of Edina, its staff, and other community organizations, Hope and her organization are dedicated to preserving Edina's existing affordable housing, protecting its tenant population, and producing more housing that's affordable in order to meet the Metro Council's forecast that Edina needs 1,220 units by 2030. Hope educates the public, writes letters of support to the City Council, attends and testifies at public hearings, raises the issues at public meetings, monitors the city's work on its comprehensive plan, and generally organizes the community in support of housing that is affordable for all. Please help me congratulate Hope Melton on as being the recipient for the Outstanding Edina Senior Commendation. I think she'll probably wince a little bit at that senior part of the commendation, but yeah.
Thank you, Mayor Hovland. I'm deeply honored. I want to say that this award really goes to the members of our housing team. Will you raise your hand, please, those of you that are here? It also goes to the City Council and its staff. Over my professional life, I've done several large collaborative projects, and I have to say that this one has been the most enjoyable, the most conflict-free, and the most inspiring. I have a very short quotation that I'm going to read that was given to me by Carol Braemar, who's one of our members sitting in the back. As the civil rights lawyer Brian Stevenson often says, quote, "The enemy of justice is not injustice, it is hopelessness." Cornel West and Roberto Unger have written that, quote, "Hope is more the consequence of action than its cause." As the experience of the spectator favors fatalism, so the experience of the agent produces hope. Human rights reflect a leap of faith in the direction of hope. By identifying core rights that everyone deserves, enlisting the world's agreement in principle to these values, establishing them in law, and building institutions and organizations to press for their realization, we have built a better world. If there are more effective ways to achieve basic respect for human beings, the critics have not identified them. And doing nothing is not an option. In the absence of a better alternative, acting for hope beats skeptical spectatorship every time. Thank you. Thank you.
As Hope was talking, I was thinking a little bit about this challenge of housing that's affordable. We've got a group of mayors that are working together in the urban area that have been going out to greater Minnesota. It's called Minnesota Mayors Together. We started reading about this urban-rural divide problem, and we didn't really understand what was the problem, because we don't see the divide here. We've got our own issues that we work on in the metropolitan area, but we didn't understand what issues were in greater Minnesota. So about a year ago, we divided the state into quadrants. We went to all 4 quadrants and met with mayors on each quadrant. And the 2 top issues for mayors in each quadrant, regardless of the size of their town, was the issue of housing that's affordable for people that live there. Because real wages have gone on a very slow climb that the market hasn't taken care of for some reason. In the meantime, housing costs have gone like this. So you've got this ever-increasing delta that no one knows how to fill the delta. No one knows how to solve the problem. And so you'll see activity over at the state legislature now as people come up with creative ideas about how to find housing for people, whether they're at 30% of area median income or 200% of area median income, find a place to live that they can afford. And that's one of the things you'll see coming from the Edina City Council is how do we make sure that the kind of folks that have lived in our town historically can still continue to live here, regardless of your age. What kinds of housing options do we have to provide, and how are we going to do it? Because it's very expensive. This morning I went downtown to meet with at the Federal Reserve with one of the people there, and this is one of their big issues as well. The other big issue for people in greater Minnesota was daycare. They cannot find people to do daycare, and so these are some of the issues that you'll see facing all of America, especially all as it pertains to us, all of Minnesota, big cities, small cities, as we all wrestle with this issue of how to make sure that you can have the kinds of housing available that's good for everybody. So, Hope, thank you for all the work that you're doing. Now, we've got just this organization in our town. Where's Maggie? Is she up here already? So this is, this fireball right here, Maggie McCracken, and she just fits to a T her name. She just.
I married into it. So.
Well,
part of it, I guess.
Yeah, part of it. So there's an organization that's been formed. It was pre-Maggie's time. It was founded by, remember Edith Olmog, who was on the school board? Her and her husband Yuval moved down to Jackson Hole. And then Meg Rodriguez, who couldn't be here with us tonight. In the 2014-2015 school year, Edina Give and Go was formed to bring life and learning opportunities to the Edina public school students who are economically disadvantaged. Now you might think, well, who would that be in our town? But there are folks. We're going to talk about it in a minute, and Maggie will talk about it too. The organization is focused on unlocking opportunities for students, from academics to the arts to athletics. It's a mission-aligned partner of the Edina Public Schools, uniquely positioned to remove financial barriers to participation for students. Last year, Edina Give and Go supported roughly 9% of the students across the entire Edina Public School system. That's about 750 students that required some level of support in those areas. And of those, 200 were supported with academic grants like summer camps and driver's ed, 130 with arts grants like instrument rental, and 90 with athletic grants like middle school athletic clubs or the Edina community education programs that take place in the summertime. Last fiscal year, they granted over $125,000 for these programs, unlocking opportunities for students of all ages from across all 9 Edina public schools. Though the number of Edina students who qualify for free and reduced price meals has remained rather static over the years at about 9% of the enrollment, student requests for help from this organization are up 100% from a year ago. This means that we're succeeding in connecting with students who are struggling to access opportunities for participation and community engagement. And if the woman was here that started the Edina Meal Fund so that kids could make sure they eat at noon without having to go through any stigmatization about their parents not being able to pay the food bill, that person would tell you that in the Edina public school system, there is even stress on the middle class now where some people in the middle class cannot afford to be able to pay for everything their kids need at school, and hence the meal fund and hence Edina Give and Go. So I want to bring Maggie up here to talk a little bit about the organizational work that she does, and this is something that we should all be supporting because they do incredible work in our town. It was recognized several years ago by a member of our school board that this need was coming, and it's growing every year. So Maggie, congratulations on getting this award. And look forward to having you talking.
Yeah. Hello, good evening. Thank you so much for the recognition. It's great to be here with all of you. As the mayor said, our organization really is focused on about 9% of the students in the school district. Those students live in households that earn 200% of the poverty or below, so $50,000 for a family of 4. And just to put that in perspective, 750 students is the equivalent of one entire graduating class. And so our work is really focused on how do we make sure that every single one of those students has the opportunity to engage in soccer, to engage in driver's education, to engage in the things that we can sometimes take for granted. And we think, well, when I was growing up, driver's ed was free. Driver's education is roughly $400 per student now. And we've supported over 75 students in the past 2 years with driver's education. So our work is definitely, we're thrilled that families are starting to see us as a resource because we have amazing partners in the school. We have amazing partners in the community, and students now are looking to us. They're getting engaged in new ways, so they're looking to us not only for the same things that maybe they always have, but we have new community partners that we're partnering with on a regular basis, and so that's amazing. The organization's really about seeing every student and making sure that they know that they belong And we really believe that connected communities are strong communities. And so our organization doesn't exist without support of every community member. And that's what really will help us continue to support students and make sure that they're able to do all the things that our community has to offer. So thank you so much for the recognition.
And Maggie, your website address is?
EdinaGiveAndGo.org.
There you go, EdinaGiveAndGo.org. And I'm going to bring Glenn Gray back up here because he's getting the Mayor's Service to Youth Commendation. There he comes. So you met Glenn a few minutes ago, and Glenn, as you recall, is a member of the Edina Soccer Association Board of Directors. He's been a board member for over the last 6 years. He's held the positions of vice president and president, plus chair of numerous committees. He has a strong passion for ESA's involvement in many community events, including the Edina 4th of July Parade, where you will see his minivan painted with "Everyone Welcome at ESA." And those messages, the endless candy handed out at the parade, along with many soccer balls and towels. He's also created an event in partnership with the Minnesota United MLS team. I suppose you were over there for the Saturday event?
Yeah, no, I was out of town.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm sure some of the folks in the room were. We're over 2,000 ESA players and their 200 ESA players and their families attended a game last June and were invited on the sidelines during warm-ups and recognized throughout the match. Glenn has also championed refreshing the ESA website to make it more user-friendly and incorporate stronger brand recognition. He's also worked with the local vendors to redesign the ESA logo featured on over 5,000 soccer jerseys, team t-shirts, and soccer balls. As if that isn't enough for someone to champion on one board, he has also created ESA's Adult League, launched in the fall of 2017. Over 80 adults show up on Sunday mornings at Pamela Park and enjoy playing the beautiful game with families and fans along the sidelines. Glenn always has his camera in hand and provides ESA with many fantastic moments captured for the association's website. He strongly believes in recognizing other people's work and service and helps plan and attend ESA's annual recognition of the Parks and Rec field crew. No one has more passion and heart for Edina and ESA and the kids that it serves than Glenn Gray. Thank you, Glenn, for your service.
All right. Let's not, mistake that the fact that I'm up here has to do with the candy budget of the parade. Normally, where Mayor Hovland is out in front of the parade and they give him enthusiastic waves, I only get them because we have bags and bags of candy. So, but it's really been great working with the kids and everything, because I grew up in a household where my dad was always a coach, my mom was my den mother, and it was, you always stood up and you volunteered. You'd hold your hand up and you would do whatever you could for the kids. And Edina Soccer works really hard because, like Maggie was saying, we want to make something accessible. In some cases, Edina Soccer is the only opportunity that a lot of kids have to really interact or to do some kind of an organization like this, to get out and play soccer and work with your teammates. And we've worked with her in the past, and we work hard to keep our price at a point that's affordable, or mostly affordable. It's $120 for the summer. Which is unheard of for most of the, I have a son in lacrosse and a daughter in cheer and everything, and that's expensive, I gotta say. So we work very hard to make things accessible and to really reach out to the communities and keep it diverse and everything. So I wanna thank you again, but keep getting out there and volunteering, because it's the only way these kids are gonna get out and interact with the things that they need to do and get out in the community. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do we have to pose for a picture or anything? Oh, Jen, come on. Thank you.
We always give an award every year to a city employee My wife always gives me a hard time. One year we gave it to a Edina policeman, and I think everybody in the room had gotten a ticket from him on Sunday morning. You know, and his line was, I hope you're not late to church. He's retired now, so you don't have to worry about that. But I did see him out there on Sunday morning again, yesterday. So Bob Wilson, would you walk up here, Bob? Bob's been a wonderful public servant for the city of Edina as our city assessor. Now, I suppose I shouldn't have divulged that he was the city assessor for those of you that still own property and aren't renting. But he's a wonderful public servant, as I said, and he does a terrific job. You know, sometimes Bob gets a hard time from folks that are upset about the increases in their property values, but we have to toe the line.
Never happens.
We have to toe the line with the state because we're supposed to be, I think, within 95% of the actual market value of the property in our town for assessment purposes, or we get jammed up with the state. So Bob makes sure that we're in good shape there. And of course, everybody's dream is to have their house worth a lot less for taxes than it is when they sell it. But that still happens in Edina, I think, that's the way it goes. So. With Bob Wilson, we are awarding the Public Servant Mayor's Community Involvement Commendation to Bob. In addition to his performing his job at an exemplary level, Bob Wilson demonstrates an extraordinary commitment to his profession, his coworkers, and his family. Bob has served on multiple Minnesota Association of Assessing Officers committees and held multiple chair positions, but ultimately has always been most influential within the organization in the areas of assessor education. Bob has taught the acronym MAAO courses, such as Basic Income Approach, Income Case Study Workshop, Residential Case Study Workshop, and Residential Form Report Workshop. If any of you want to know those different methodologies, Bob will stick around afterwards and tell you about each one of them. He continuously updates the Income Case Study exam as well as the Residential Case Study exams. Bob's also served as MAAO and SBA grading chairs. He's been a longtime member of MAAO, an International Association of Assessing Officers, and the American Society of Appraisers, and also serves as MAAO president. He served there from 2001 through 2002. It's also very clear that Bob has a strong dedication to his profession and his family. When his children were younger, Bob volunteered to coach soccer and basketball for his children's teams. Most recently, Bob and his wife Marie spent last summer coordinating the Kids Save Summer Miracles program for Colombian orphans to be hosted and potentially adopted in Minnesota and western Wisconsin. While the program remained in operation in other states, it hasn't operated here for 14 years due to a lack of partnership and desperately needed people to step up and help organize the program. During the summer visit, the children learned all about American culture, had the option to attend a summer camp of the host family choosing and meet prospective adoptive families. That was truly some wonderful work, Bob. Bob truly embodies the city's values of integrity, quality, and service above self. Please help me congratulate Bob for the award, Bob Wilson.
Thank you very much, Mayor Hovland. I just want to make a little bit of a correction here. Although I was a little bit helpful in Kids Save, my wife Marie, who's out here, was the big point person for that, and I had a very little to do with that. So I give her the credit for that. But this recognition is very much appreciated, and I am truly thankful. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob.
It's Wednesday night, Mayor.
Okay, Wednesday night is your last chance. If you have a concern about your estimated market value, I mean, how could you let that slip on by? I mean, we're making announcements about all kinds of events. There's an event on Wednesday night. There's a whole group of our residents there that serve as the Board of Appeal and Equalization. This is your last chance to contest your estimated market value. But I'll forewarn you that sometimes in the past when the City Council served as the Board of Appeal and Equalization, some people got their value raised, not lowered. So go with that idea in mind if you decide to go down there on Wednesday night. And but if you do think about that seriously, get a hold of Bob's office in advance, because they'll meet with you in advance and try to work out any issues that are involved. But that's what's going on Wednesday night. So, all right. I think that's it for the evening. It's another wonderful night. Spring is finally coming a little bit here, I think, after our new April weather pattern. 15 inches in the middle of April. This is our new deal. So thank you all for coming. Thank you all for doing all the things that you do for Edina and making it such a great place. And as you can see on our new website, this whole Better Together theme, I think, has come up from the grassroots, because we know that we're better together. And thanks to you, we are indeed better together. Good night.